Campaign on Monday.
Welcome back. In the midst of hurricane season, it's important to remember that the story isn't only the storm, it's also the recovery process after the storm, in fact, preparing before it. 1 year after Hurricane Maria slammed into the small island nation of Dominica, a Canadian organization, Food for the Poor Canada, is being singled out for the work that it did to help out in the aftermath. I'm joined now by Samantha Mahfood. She's the Executive Director of Food for the Poor Canada. Thank you for being here.
Really happy to be here. Thank you.
So, past this prologue, these storms just keep coming. Let's start with going back to Maria. The devastation it did, so many killed in the aftermath, people still without power and access to things like clean water, and people are still hungry. How does your group factor in and fold into this?
It's really hard to work in a place like Dominica because they're so small. They have such a small population, and the masses of containers that were sent after the hurricane, they had a hard time processing and distributing them. So it's really about your partners on the ground. One of the things that Food for the Poor does really well is, over 36 years, we've created an infrastructure of partners across the Caribbean and Latin America. And so when Hurricane Maria hit, we reached out to our partners in Dominica and said, are you ready to receive water, zinc roofing, building supplies, emergency kits, generators, food, and they were, and our access to our partners allowed us to distribute as well as we could in a tough situation.
Samantha, what kind of unique challenges does a storm like Florence present? I mean, the infrastructure that was there ahead of it, better, a better power grid, more prepared, but maybe they're not as experienced as places like Florida or Texas for a storm like this.
I mean, I think that, because of flooding, I think they have to shut down electrical grids, and water damage that affects the electrical grid will prevent them from being able to get it up and running. Water is such a major destroyer of everything, and a killer as well. So I think you can never be prepared for the amount of damage water does.
Yeah, and salt water too can damage infrastructure a lot worse than just regular fresh water.
Yeah.
The frequency of these storms, the impact of climate change, it's not really something that gets a lot of play right now in the press. Do you expect the need for agencies like yours to just go up exponentially in the years to come? Are you preparing for that?
What I think that we have the opportunity to do, and what we're doing because we see them coming more frequently, is instead of waiting for them to happen, we're preparing for them in advance of the hurricane season. So Scotiabank partnered with Food for the Poor Canada this year to purchase water purification tablets. We have them sitting down in a warehouse waiting for the next hurricane. You can't wait because it's going to happen. It's a question of when. And then also staging. When Hurricane Matthew hit in Haiti, Food for the Poor in Haiti, 300 staff there, they deployed containers across the south with emergency supplies, water, food, and we had local police set up ready to help us distribute, because you lose roads after a hurricane, so you can't get containers down.
Basics.
Yeah, so it's being prepared and looking at what the risks are, and working around them beforehand.
Samantha, thank you so much, and thank you for the great work you do.
Thank you very much.
Really important stuff. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the top stories of the day. We'll take you back to the courts, Osgoode Hall. The fight over Bill 5 continues.